Monday, September. I guess Mom was pretty proud of herself for making me write in that journal last year, because now she went and bought me another one. But remember how I said that if some jerk caught me carrying a book with diary on it, the cover, they were going to get the wrong idea? Well, that's exactly what happened today. Sissy? Oh! My brother Rodrick. Now that Rodrick knows I have another journal, I better remember to keep this one locked up. Rodrick actually got a hold of my last journal a few weeks back, and it was a disaster. But don't even get me started on that story. Even without Roderick's problems, summer was pretty lousy. Our family didn't go anywhere or do anything fun, and that's Dad's fault. Dad made me join the swim team again, and he wanted to make sure I didn't miss any meets this year. Kill him, Brandon! No mercy, Tom! Stop shivering, Gregory! Jack got this idea that I'm destined to be a great swimmer or something, so that's why he makes me join the team every summer. At my first swim meet a couple of years ago, Dad told me that when the umpire shot off the starter pistol, I was supposed to dive in and start swimming. But Dad didn't tell me was the starter gun only fired blanks, so I was a whole lot more worried about where the bullet was gonna land than I was about getting myself into the other end of the pool. Even after Dad explained the whole starter pistol concept to me, I was still the worst swimmer on the team. But I did end up winning most improved at the award at the end of the summer. That's because there was a 10 difference between my first race and my last one. So I guess Dad's still waiting for me to live up to my first. It's okay, Gregory. You probably get it next time. In a lot of ways, being on the swim team was worse than being in middle school. First of all, we had to be at the pool by 7:30 every morning, and the water's always freezing cold. And second of all, we're always cramped into 2 lanes, so I always had someone on my tail and trying to get around me. The reason we had to use 2 lanes is because swim practice was at the same time as the water jazz class. I actually tried to convince Dad to let me do it. Water jazz instead of swim team, but he couldn't go for it. Come on, ladies, get those arms up. This was the first summer the coach let us boys wear swim trunks instead of those squimpy racing trunks, but Mom said Roderick's hand-me-down bathing suit was perfectly fine. Your friends will be jealous because you'll be so fast. Ha 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 ha. Man. After swim practice, Rodrick would pick me up in his band's van. Mom had this crazy idea that if me and Rodrick spent quality time on the ride home every morning, we wouldn't fight as much, but all it did was make things a lot worse. Rodrick was always half an hour late picking me up. And he wouldn't let me sit up in the front. He said the grind would just ruin his seat, even though the van was something like 15 years old. Get in the back. Rodrick's van would actually have any seats in the back, so I had to squeeze in with all the band equipment. And every time the van came to a stop, I had to pray I didn't get my head taken off by one of Rodrick's drums. I ended up walking home every day instead of getting a ride with Rodrick. I figured it was better to just walk the 2 miles than to get brain damage riding in the back of that van. Halfway through the summer, I decided I was pretty much done with the swim team, so I came up with a trick to get out of practice. I'd swim a few laps and I asked the coach if I could use the bathroom. Then I just hid out in the locker room until practice was over. The only plan was that problem with my plan that it was something like 40 degrees in the boys' bathroom, so it was even colder in there. Then it was in the freaking pool. Oh my god. I had to wrap myself in toilet paper so I didn't get hypothermia. That's how I spent a pretty big chunk of my summer vacation, and that's why I'm actually looking forward to going back to school tomorrow, Tuesday. When I got to school today, everybody was talking all strange around me at first, and I didn't know what was up. Then I remember I still had the cheese touch from last year. I got the cheese touch the last week of school, and over the summer I completely forgot about it. The problem with the cheese touch is that you got into it. You can pass it on to someone else, but nobody would even get within 30 feet of me, so I knew I was going to be stuck with the cheese touch the whole year. Luckily, there was a new student named Jeremy Pindle in the homeroom, so that took care of that problem. Welcome to our school, Jeremy. My first class was pre-algebra, and the teacher put me right next to Alex Hudra, the smartest kid in my class. Alex is super easy to copy off of because he always finishes tests early and puts his paper down on the floor next to him. So if I ever get a pinch, it's nice to know you can count on Alex to bail me out. Kids whose last name starts with a few letters of the alphabet get called on the most by the teacher, and that's why they ended up being the smartest. Some people think that's not true, but if you want to come back down to the pool, I can prove it. I can only think one kid who broke the last name rule, and that was Peter Huger. Peter was the smartest kid in the class. So, the class always way up until the 5th grade. That's when a bunch of us started giving him a hard time about how his antennas sounded when you said them out loud. Teacher, the answer to that question is P-U, P-U, yeah, P-U, P-U. These days, Peter doesn't raise his hand at all, and he's pretty much a C student. I guess I feel a little bad about the PU thing and what happened to Peter, but it's hard enough to get the credit whenever it comes up. I started way, today I got pretty decent seats in all of my classes except 7th period. History, my teacher is Mr. Huff, and something tells me he had Rodrick as a student a few years back. Mr. Huffley, you'll be sitting in this chair next to my desk. Wednesday, Mom has me making me and Rodrick help out more around the house, and now I feel like the two of us are responsible doing dishes every night. The rule is we're not allowed to watch any TV or play video games until all the dishes are done. But let me just say that Rodrick is the worst dishes partner in the world. As soon as dinner's over, he goes upstairs to the bathroom and camps out there for an hour. And by the time he comes back, I'm already done. I'm ready to start. But if I ever complain to Mom and Dad, Rodrick would always pulls out the same lame excuse. My body's on a schedule. I think Mom and Dad are too worried about my little brother Manny to get involved in a fight between me and Rodrick right now anyway. Yesterday, Manny drew a picture of daycare and Mom. Picture at daycare, and Mom and Dad got really upset when they found it in his backpack. Mom and Dad thought the picture was supposed to be of them, so now they're acting all lovely in front of Manny. I love you so much, and I love you so much. I knew who it was supposed to be in the picture, me and Rodrick. We got in a big blowout over the remote control the other night, and Manny was there to witness the whole thing. But Mom and Dad need to find out about that. Don't need to find out about that. Thursday, another reason my summer was kind of lame was because my best friend Rowley was on vacation pretty much the whole time. I think he went to South America or something. But to be honest with you, I'm not really sure. I don't know if this makes me a bad person or whatever, but it's hard for me to get interest in other people's vacation. And then we're gonna get on a cruise boat and cruise down this river. Hey, have you noticed this freckle before? Besides, it seems like Rowley's family is always traveling to some crazy places in this world, and I can never keep up with their trips straight. The other reason I don't care about Rowley's trips is because whenever Rowley comes back from one of his trips, he always crams it down my throat. Last year, Rowley's family went to Australia for 10 days, but from that way he acted when he got back, you'd think he lived there his whole life. Good day, mate. Another thing that's really annoying is that whenever Rowley goes to some new country, he gets into whenever fad is going on over there. Like when Rowley got back from Europe 2 years ago, he hooked up on this pop singer named Josie, who I guessed is some huge star or something. So Rowley came back with bags of Josie CDs and posters and stuff. I took one look at the picture on CD and told Rowley Josie was supposed to be for 6-year-old girls, but he didn't believe me. Rowley said I was just jealous because he was the one who discovered Josie, and that would made it really irritating was that now this guy was Rowley's new hero. So if I ever try to say something critical at all, Rally did not want to hear it.